So we seated our first class last summer, and we have 5 fellows in that class. We're approved for 6 per year. So for this next class, the next first year class will come in July. We took 6 fellows. We just finished our interviews and went through the match and did quite well, thankfully. And so these guys will move on to becoming seniors. It's a 3-year fellowship. So once we're fully up and running, if we're still taking our full complement of 6 per year, we'll have up to 18 fellows within the system training to be general cardiologists. Oh, it's probably a tie between a great slice of pizza. It's probably number one, and then like 1A would be a great just bowl of simple pasta with marinara. You know, something very simple, well done. Those would be my top kind of 1 and 1A. You know. Well, so I'm from the Northeast. I'm like from the Boston area. So I feel like we don't really have great pizza here, but you know, if I was there's a place in Massachusetts that whenever I go back called Linwood's, which there's something in New England called bar pizza. It's very specific to the New England area. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a football guy. Not that I didn't follow the Red Sox very closely and now I'm a little bit more disconnected from watching baseball just because it's such a time commitment to watch baseball. Definitely through the 90s and early 2000s, it was the Red Sox completely. You know, I lived and died on those. Postseason with the Yankees, Pedro, Big Papi, that was it. But really the last 15 years, it's been more of the Patriots, to be honest. I did. It did something called Hajj, which is something that each Muslim is supposed to do at one point in their life if they can. So that was about 5 years ago, and that was quite an experience. It's, beyond the religious aspect of it, it's, you have people from everywhere. I mean, all over the world conglomerating all at once. And it's just such a sight to see, like, I guess 2.5 million people or something like that from all over the world in one small place. It is pretty cool, to be honest. Even the religious side aside, it's just quite an experience, physically and emotionally, and then culturally. Just a whole different experience. Well, I have a 15-year-old. I gotta get this right. 15-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 9-year-old. So it's quite an age range, so to speak, as they move through. Typical family stuff, movie nights, board games. But my oldest in particular, and my youngest actually, is interesting. They're quite the foodies. They're very adventurous. They like to eat different things. I mean, their favorite thing probably is sushi, which is interesting because my middle one is definitely like standard, mac and cheese. So, they are definitely like adventurous in terms of food. So that's a kind of a big thing as a family that we do whenever we can. It's probably a toss-up. Well, because it's technically within my lifetime, it'd be somewhere between stents and valves. But if I really talk as an adult, so to speak, and take out the 80s when I was a kid into early 90s, I think these transcatheter valves are completely life-altering and career-altering and field-altering. The things that Dr. Gada does with Dr. Mumtaz, these transcatheter aortic valve replacements, which are now extending into the other valves. Things that people had their chest completely cut open for, you're cutting down the sternal bone, and people are recovering for up to a week in the hospital, and then a few months after they leave, now we're doing through a needle stick, literally just a needle stick. And you could walk out that evening, theoretically. I mean, if we were really cavalier about it, it's a little bit mind-boggling, and that's really all happened within my short decade-long career, something that was just being developed when I finished fellowship and coming on board, and now is completely standard of care that quickly because it's been shown to be that successful. That's probably the most I think impressive advancement within medicine within my career.